This is a video about my neighbor who constantly calls the cops on me, and the Plainfield Police Department that shows up to harass me afterwards. I have two children. I am 28 years old. I run my own business. I have a wife. I work for a living, and I pay taxes. I don't know where to start. I guess Saturday night, my brother shows up about 10:30. He had a little bit of a buzz going, and it's getting kind of out of hand. I asked him to leave, and he went out to the front yard and was making some comments as he was leaving. It wasn't really a big deal. Like I said, it was about 10:30. I know the noise ordinance is 11, and if my neighbors had that going on in the front yard, I'd probably come out to see what was going on. But this guy over here, he comes out, and he's on the phone, and he's yelling that he's going to shoot one of us. And I said, man, it's just a family, issue. I said, man, he's getting in the car and he's leaving. And of course, in turn, makes my brother a little madder. And, he's yelling at him now. So he gets in his car and leaves. And as he pulls off, the Plainfield Police Department pulls him over and tried to arrest him and the two other guys that were with him, the guy driving and his other buddy. And after they tried to arrest them for about an hour and a half, the cops show up and they park one right there where that silver car is, and another one, just directly behind that silver car. And after they did that, they shined their flashlights on my house, their spotlights, and they shined their spotlights on my house for probably 20 minutes. And I came outside, and I come outside and stood on the front porch, and I, hey, what's going on, and they walk up, and I sat down on my front porch, and I tell them, hey, my brother come over, we had a little argument, and he left. I said the neighbor got involved and apologized for the whole situation. It was before the noise ordinance, and it won't happen again. I do apologize. And, Officer Standaford and his commanding officer, Sergeant, I didn't actually catch his name. I'll post it later what his name is, but they come out, and when he walks up here, first thing he asked me to do is, sir, please put your cigarette out. Well, I said, no. I said, I didn't invite you on my property. I want you to leave off my property, and I'm not putting my cigarette out. And he says, I want you to put your cigarette out so you don't throw it in my face. And I said, I'm not going to throw my cigarette in your face. And he pulls his taser out. This is Officer Standaford. Pulls his taser out, and he starts threatening me. Boy, son, I will shoot you. I will shoot you. And he gets very violent and, loud. But he doesn't come, he doesn't touch me. But he did threaten me with his taser. He pulls his taser out, and he's shining it on me. The little laser beam that it's got. So, I'm in basketball shorts and a t-shirt at this time. I was ready to go to bed. I stand up, and I pull my shirt up and do a circle for him. And I says, I have no weapons. So you're going to shoot a man that's unarmed? He said, oh, I can make it look like you're armed. And I said, well, go ahead and shoot me then, I guess, if that's your thing. I don't want you on my property, though, and I'd appreciate it if you left one way or the other. So this went on for about 20 minutes, and I tried to go in the house during that time 2 or 3 times, and he blocked me. I'll show you. Here's my porch. There's my American flag. Here's my porch. So very basic, normal living, But he comes up these stairs, and he won't let me get in my front door. He, tells me if I go inside, he's going to break the door down and come in and get me. And they had the taser on me the whole time. The sergeant, he was being a little more, I guess, not so much of an asshole. I asked Standaford what his name is and told him I was going to make a YouTube video about the way he's treating me. And I got my wife inside, who was standing in the window watching the whole time. It was just for no reason. I simply, the situation was dissolved. you know, there was nothing else that they could have done other than just what they were doing. And you know, I asked him if they turned their flashlights off my face, and he says no, you know. And I keep a flashlight right here on this table, and I always have. Just, you know, I'm outside a lot at night, you know, and I have a dog, and, you know, whatever. But I get my flashlight, and I turn my flashlight on, and I shine it back in his face, and, you know, here it goes with the threatening to shoot more and this and that, and it goes on for quite some time. Now, 2 hours later, I got some other neighbors that were watching, and, you know, they would vouch if it ever became a problem as to where this story's not credible. But every, you know, other neighbors out here I get along with, except for this guy here. I'm not sure what his problem is. His dogs, you can hear him right now barking. They constantly bark all day, all night. No one ever calls the cops on this guy, ever. But, so, back to the, you know, the story. They park their cars, and they park them, you know, right here where this car is, but he pulls out and blocks half the road with his car facing towards my house. They walk back to their car, and they turn their spotlights on their car, and they shine up my house, and they had their red and blues flashing and their spotlights on my house for probably a good, you know, another hour. And, you know, just for no reason. I didn't, not that I really saw a reason. I turned my flashlight back on again, you know, after like 20 minutes. I come outside and I said, could you guys please just turn your flashlights off on my house? I said, you know, my kids are inside sleeping. You know, there's no reason for what's going on. I did come back outside and put my flashlight on after about another 20 minutes of them not doing it. And, you know, finally, I had to call a state police officer to come out. The state police officer come out about 20 minutes later, and they turned their lights off right before the state police officer got out, and you know, acted like they didn't do anything wrong. And I just simply talked to the state police officer, and he was a very nice guy, you know, very understanding. I told him the situation, told him the story just like I'm telling you, and I said, you know, I can't lie, I was being a little rude, you know. I said, you know, but I'd done asked them to get off my property, you know, dozens of times. They stood on my property for almost an hour after I asked them to get off my property. Dozens of times they told them they were trespassing. I told them that I would make this video and about them, you know, trespassing on my property, that there was no reason for it. And, you know, nothing really came about of it, but, you know, the state police officer went over there and talked to him. He's here for 15 minutes. He talks to me. He walks over there and talks to them, and then they left. You know, they wasn't, after the state police officer talked to they talked for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then they packed up and left as soon as, I don't know if he told them or made them leave or what. So I guess the main point of my video is that Plainfield Police Department, they're, you know, they don't have anything to do, and they will harass you, you know, for no reason. And I guess the second thing that this is about is that if you ever have a problem with the Plainfield Police Department, you call the Plainfield Police Department and you tell them, while the officer is out there at your, you know, car, that you want a state cop to show up, and a state cop will take care of business, and he will handle the situation a lot more professional than a Plainfield Police Department officer will, and especially Officer Standaford. Now, I'm sure that after I post this video, I'm going to get pulled over and harassed. This is a testified incidents that has occurred many a times in my life, and, you know, they never can really do anything about it. You know, they come over and they harass me. I mean, my brother and my mother have put lawsuits on them and different times for harassment on them, and you know, so many other people in Plainfield have done the same thing and had the same issue. I feel sorry for you if you're black and live in Plainfield, you know, seriously, because I've seen them, you know, well, you remember the news clippings back in 2003 or whatever, where that was a big deal. But I guess I'm going to sign out. Once again, if you deal with this Plainfield Police Department, I want you to call a state police officer out as soon as you get pulled over, as soon as they show up, because you can almost guarantee that you're going to be on the bad end of police harassment. Thank you.